What's up everybody, welcome back. So hope you're all having fun in season 12 of Go Battle League. I'm certainly having an absolute blast, and as we continue to experiment with more Pokemon with their newly updated moves, in today's video we're going to be taking a look at Shadow Claw Golisopod in the Open Great League. And Shadow Claw honestly has made it so much more better, especially in being able to provide that neutral fast move coverage against water types, steel types, fairy types, and also do super effective damage against some ghost types as well. And I'm going to be using it in this ABB team with Araquanid in the back, basically a double bug water team with a G-Fisk on the lead. Now, I did feature this team earlier last season as well, and honestly ended up working out really well for me, but I guess it's even better now with Shadow Claw and Golisopod, especially on the save swap. And also I'm going to be running Aqua Jet as its second move just to provide that better neutral or super effective coverage against Pokemon like Registeel and G-Fisk, and also Infestation as the fast move on Araquanid just for that energy generation. So there's some really fun battles in here, let's get straight into it. So moving on to the first one here, we have a Bastiodon in the lead, the absolute dream lead. They make a switch into their Medicham. I'm going to catch the power up punch on my Araquanid here. Typically Golisopod is my save swap, but if they switch in first, I typically switch in my Araquanid because Araquanid is just so much more tankier than Golisopod is that I can basically get through this matchup without having to invest any shields, right? I'm just gonna go straight for the Bug Buzz here. Again, most Medicham don't tend to shield, so this is gonna do massive neutral damage, especially because of the Psychic fighting typing. And I just go for the Bubble Beam right now because they are 2-stage buffed with their power punches, so I just want to debuff them by 1 stage so that Psychic does not one-shot from this range. I'm just gonna let it go through it here. It is a bit of a risky play because Psychic puts us incredibly low, and also we get the defense drop, but we're barely able to survive and get off the bubble here. Mine is a pretty highly ranked Araquanid, so luckily we survived that and we win switch advantage, which is absolutely crucial, especially when there's a Bastiodon on the field, right? And they have a Trevenant in the back. This is again another one of those matchups where having Shadow Claw is just so clutch because again, as you can see, he's just tearing through that Golisopod there. I'm actually running Aerial Ace in this first battle. I forgot to TM it away. I mean, I definitely prefer Aqua Jet overall, especially when you're using it as a save swap, but you can use Aerial Ace. But anyways, they decided to concede the match there because, I mean, there's no way that Bastiodon was going to be able to take out the G-Fisk in the back. Moving on to the next one here, we have a Galarian Stunfisk into an Altaria. A really beautiful lead. Once again, you want to catch the Altaria on the lead. They make a switch into their Azumarill. We don't really have a hard counter to Azumarill in this team, so you do have to combo play it a bit, which is why I throw the Earthquake and then switch in my Araquanid to basically guarantee switch advantage. Obviously, this is a slightly long, drawn-out fight because we're both not doing too much damage to each other. It's obviously a little bit more favorable for Azumarill on even health and even shielding scenarios, but obviously because we chipped it quite a bit, Araquanid is going to be able to take it. And also we get a defense drop on the Bug Buzz. Bug Buzz still does a decent amount of damage because it's only single resisted. And I'm going to try and get to this next Bug Buzz here. This will KO the Azumarill if they decide to no-shield this. Let's see what happens here. They actually do let that go through, which means that we win switch advantage, which is really nice. Back in comes Altaria here. I'm actually going to go for the Bug Buzz. I don't want to go for Bubble Beam because they're going to switch out eventually. So I just want to do guaranteed damage, even though that doesn't do too much damage. It is single resisted. It just does a sizable chunk. I was hoping to get another one off to put it into Rock Slide range, but that's fine. Charge move coming through. It is going to be a Dazzling Gleam. So that's a very interesting move set there. And they have a Registeel in the back. So at this point, I'm actually going to catch the Focus Blast on my Golisopod here. Honestly, even Golisopod doesn't have a great matchup against Registeel, but of course, Focus Blast is resisted because of the bug typing. And this is one of those matchups where Aqua Jet really helps, right? Because of Shadow Claw and Aqua Jet, you're going to be able to chip away at the Registeel quite a bit. And I'm actually going to shield this up because I want to be able to stay in with my Golisopod. This is a Golisopod showcase after all, and do as much damage as I can because G-Fisk can definitely take out Altaria in the back even without a shield advantage. So anyways, at this point I'm just going to go for the X-Scissor right now. X-Scissor is obviously probably going to get the shield from Registeel even though it's resisted and probably debuffed. And they make a switch into their Altaria. I immediately switch into my G-Fisk. I'm going to go for the Rock Slide right now. And at this point I'm going to be able to build up to 2 Rock Slides here. I'm actually going to build up to 1.5 and throw this one. This will not one-shot though. It's going to put it pretty low. And this is just going to be a Sky Attack, which Galarian Stunfisk can comfortably survive from this range. And we should be able to get to another Rock Slide here. Rock Slide will be taking out the Altaria. And Registeel can't really lock on down the G-Fisk, right? They really have to throw a move here. And even if they lock on down, it's not that big of a deal because we have a shield advantage. I'm just going to let it go through and then basically count on a Golisopod to be able to close this out there. So we're able to Shadow Claw down the Registeel, and that's going to take the win for us. Moving on to the next battle here, we have Galarian Stunfisk into a Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn's another Pokemon that can be slightly tricky for this team because we don't really have a hard counter to it. All three of these Pokemon have kind of neutral matchups against it, which is fine. We soak up the Power Whip here, does quite a bit of damage, and then I'm going to go for the Earthquake right now. And I'm going to try and look to catch a Power Whip on my Araquanid here. right? But unfortunately, they hold on to their energy, and if they go for Thunder, that would be super effective. But it doesn't have stab, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm just gonna let it go through. It is just a Power Whip, which is fine. I'm gonna overfarm a little bit more here. They're gonna get off another Power Whip. That's okay as well. And at this point, I'm just going to overfarm as much as I can and then throw the Bubble Beam right now, because even if they no-shield this is going to put it into farm down range for my Araquanid, right? One more Infestation is going to be able to take it out, and we come out of this matchup with a Bug Buzz, which is really nice. Out comes a Azumarill, and then at this point, I'm just going to try and go for the Bubble Beam here initially just to get that debuff, and then I'm probably going to go for the Bug Buzz here. So Bubble Beam actually gets that debuff. I'm going to go for the Bug Buzz right now. Hopefully, we get a defense drop on the Bug Buzz, but we actually get a shield, which is really nice. I'm going to try and get to another Bubble Beam, and we are able to get to it as well. Unfortunately, Azumarill is going to be able to farm down for quite a bit of energy, but that's fine. They're going to have to switch out eventually because they are two-stage debuffed at this point. I'm going to throw a move right now. I don't care what this is. We're going to let it go through. It's just an Ice Beam, so that's a double debuffed resisted Ice Beam, which really doesn't do that much damage. It's obviously kind of a tricky matchup for Golisopod because Shadow Claw is the only thing that's hitting from neutral, whereas everything else is resisted, right? If I was running Aerial Ace, that would have been neutral, but obviously Aerial Ace is a pretty bad move, especially without stab coming from a Golisopod. So I'm going to have to chip away with X Scissors here. I'm just going to try and get off as many of them as I can. I want to go for it instead of Awkward Jet because obviously X Scissors is a better move and has stab coming from a Golisopod. So yeah, just going to try and do as much damage as I can. I do shield the play rough though because I do want to preserve a little bit of HP on my Golisopod. This is unfortunately a slightly long drawn out fight, but I'm able to take it out with the Shadow Claw, and they have an Obstagoon in the back, and that's absolutely beautiful. I'm going to be able to get off 2 X's this year. They're actually running Lick as the fast move on Obstagoon. You do see some interesting moves, especially earlier on in the season, but that's fine. I'm going to go for another X here. It's going to do massive super effective damage. It does almost about 50% of Obstagoon's health, but yeah, it puts it into a range where Earthquake would comfortably KO. I'm going to shield this up. It's a cross chop. That would have been pretty close. Honestly, we could have let that go through because they're not running counter anyways, but yeah, I don't want to risk it. Just go for the Earthquake there, and Earthquake just one-shots the Obstagoon, and that's going to take the win for us there. So moving on to the next battle here, we have a Galarian Stunfisk into an Umbreon. Kind of a neutral matchup this, although I do want to switch out eventually because we have 2 Bug types in the back which can deal with Umbreon as well, and also it's an ABB line, so I do have to switch out to bait out the Flyer if they do have any in the back. But I'm going to go for the Earthquake here. Earthquake is going to do massive neutral damage against Umbreon. Does quite a bit of damage actually. I was trying to catch a move but not able to do it, but I'm just going to soak it up as well, and then now I'm going to bring in my Golisopod here. Yeah, and then at this point they make a switch into the Azumarill again, another pretty long drawn out fight because Golisopod is just not going to be able to do too much damage against Azumarill. I'm going to try and just fire off as many X's as I can. Once again hoping to chip away, and we're going to be able to comfortably outpace the Azumarill as well, right? I'm not going to shield this. Yeah, it's going to be an Ice Beam actually, which is really surprising, and that's fine. I'm going to be able to get to another X Scissor here. If they go Play Rough, that's obviously a pretty solid matchup for Azumarill, but if they're running Ice Beam and Hydro Pump, it probably could get a little bit close here. They're going to go for another move right now. It's going to be another Ice Beam. That's not enough to KO. And we should be able to get off at least 2 X Scissors here. And I'm able to get to the first X Scissor right now. We probably should be able to get to another one if they decide to overfarm. I'm just going to farm up a little bit more. Go for another X Scissor right now. I guess they're trying to farm down here. And if they try to commit to the farm down, we should be able to get to another X Scissor. And we barely are able to get to an X Scissor. This is massive because it's going to take out the Azumarill and help us win switch advantage, which is nice. Back in comes Umbreon. I'm going to come in with my Araquanid here. Araquanid has a really solid matchup against Umbreon. I'm going to let whatever they have go through. Everything's neutral in this matchup. As you can see, Foul Play doesn't do too much damage. They go for another Foul Play right now. We're going to let this go through as well. And then we're just going to farm up as much as we can here. And I'm going to go for the Bug Buzz. And I'm hoping that whatever they have in the back, we can sort of take it out, right? And then unfortunately they have a Talonflame in the back. So Talonflame with the 2-shield advantage is definitely one of the biggest threats for this team, because as you can see, they're playing that so well there because they're not giving up any shields. I absolutely need to get at least 1 shield with the Bubble Beam so that I can one-shot with Rock Slide. But obviously they know better. They know that they need to preserve the shields for the Rock Slide. I can let this go through. It is 2-stage debuffed. It doesn't quite KO and it's only neutral. And I come in with my G-Fisk right now. Unfortunately, we're taking a lot of super effective damage even though it's single-stage debuffed right now because of that Flame Charge buff. And you know, of the 2 Bubble Beam debuffs. I shield the Flame Charge. Unfortunately, their attack is back to normal right now, and unfortunately I throw an inefficient timing, allowing them a free move, and there's absolutely no way I can win this matchup because yeah, Talonflame is going to be able to take it there, and it also ends up timing out. It was a long drawn out fight, but there's no way we could have won that realistically. and they take that game there. So moving on to the next one here, we have a Galarian Stunfisk into a Hitmontop here, and they make a switch into their Razor Leaf Gloom. This is actually an okay matchup for Golisopod, even though we're taking a lot of super effective damage, or beg your pardon, neutral damage from Razor Leaf. We're going to be able to hit back for neutral with Shadow Claw and X-Scissor as well. So I'm going to try to fire off as many X-Scissors as I can. They actually double shield, which is interesting, and we're not able to get to the third one. That's fine. With a 2 shield advantage, this is a pretty comfortable matchup for Galarian Stunfisk. I'm going to let it go through. It is a Sludge Bomb, which is triple resisted. So they're probably not running 2 moves. I'm not sure there. But yeah, I guess, I don't know what they were trying to do there. Anyways, Rock Slide actually takes out the Gloom there. And then back in comes Hitmontop. I go into my Araquanid here, and they have a Ice Fang Drapion in the back. A very interesting move set there, but that's fine as well because we should be able to get to this Bug Buzz. Bug Buzz, as you can see, just does massive neutral damage. And I'm going to shield this up just in case it's a Sludge Bomb, but it's actually just an Aqua Tail. So yeah, they're probably just going to go for another Aqua Tail here, which is why I decided to commit to the complete Bug Bite Infestation Farm Down, I should say. It's going to be another Aqua Tail. It is resisted, and we're going to come out of this matchup with a lot of loaded energy right now. And I'm just going to spam as many Bubble Beams as I can. Obviously, Bug Buzz is resisted in this matchup. So I want to debuff this Hitmontop as many times as I can, because Galarian Stunfisk then should be able to take it out, right? I go for another Bubble Beam here, and Bubble Beam actually does quite a bit of damage. They're actually not even running counter. I think they are running Rock Smash, if I'm not mistaken. It is going to be a Stone Edge there. That's going to do super effective damage. But then again, Galarian Stunfisk is going to be able to come in and close this game out. Going for the Earthquake, it's going to do more than enough damage to take out the Hitmontop there. So probably not the best moves that they were running there, but that happens. You see that in the early part of the season, but it's always nice to go up against Pokemon and movesets that you normally wouldn't go up against, right? But anyways, we finished with the 4-in-1 set. I guess they played that incredibly well in the one battle we lost in between. But overall, as you can see, this team is very, very solid, and it's definitely a team I'm looking forward to using a little bit more as the season progresses. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.